Hi guys, it's your Pontiff ArchieLuxury on the Paul Pluta and the ArchieLuxury channels. Guys, I want to make a video today, and I don't always talk about my successes. I'd like to share a certain failure with you. And many people out there, they only talk about the good stuff. They only they don't, but I like to give a well-rounded comment. And today I want to talk to you about my 5 paddocks. I've actually got 6. Yes, I have. But the 6th piece is a double up of my 5127. So I've actually given that to a watch dealer, Vintage Watch Co. It was in Brisbane for a couple of weeks, and now it's going down to Sydney. It's going down to the Sydney store of Vintage Watch Co. I bought that as a specky. It probably, look, long-term wise, I think it's a great investment. Short-term, I just want to get out. So it is what it is. However, I want to talk about the 5 paddocks I've got. And I have, over the course of my collecting, I had the one brand per watch. I went into Rolex pretty heavily. And now it's time for me to tell you what's happened. So these are some statistics, some figures from from October 17 till today. So what I did was I basically got, so the 5 paddocks itself there, I've got my cost price. The cost price, this is what I paid to get these said pieces. If I have serviced the piece, I've actually added the service costs onto the cost price. And in the case of the World Time and the Annual Calendar, they were serviced by Paddock, so I think that adds value. If there was anything that is my fault, I wouldn't add that cost to it. But I didn't have anything like that. And then what I've done is I've just hang on one tick there, one tick. Sorry about that, just a bit of disappointment. What I've done is, if I needed to add, well, that's what I've done, okay? So basically, 5 paddocks in the picture. Beautiful picture there. What are they? The 5035, well, 5035 Annual Calendar, which I bought back and I had it serviced. The 5110 World Time, which I had serviced. 5196, that's the manual wind yellow gold beauty. I had the 5127, and I also had the 6006. So if we add all those 5 pieces up, I don't want to go into individual prices, but for those 5 pieces, I'm in Australia, I paid in Aussie dollars. It cost me $116,000. Okay, $116,000. And what I did to use as a pricing guide, I mean, you can use that Watchbox app, or you can use the app on Chrono24, but I think that's a bit fudgy. So what I basically did was I said, okay, I will look at the lowest priced example on Chrono24. I will ignore Polish, Russian, Chinese sellers. and I'll try and compare like with like. For example, if there's one there which is no box and papers, well, I would go to the cheapest box and papers example. Sometimes on the paddocks, they pinch the deployant buckle. Well, if I've got a deployant buckle, I'd compare it to one with a deployant buckle. So when I did this price check in middle October 2020, those 5 pieces, the 5 pieces in the photo, would have cost me $146,000. $146,344 Aussie, Australian to be exact. Now, yesterday was the 14th. 14th of December, I did the same price check. Guess what, guys? Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? It ain't good. The prices have fallen. That same collection would cost me $136,312. So I've had a 10% loss. Now, the interesting thing is, with Chrono 24, you're paying Chrono 24 fees. There are fees to sell. The buyer pays and the seller pays some fees. So I thought, you know what? Let's have a look at this. That $136,000 valuation, guess what? Say we take off 7% for a Chrono 24 premium. Okay, take off 7%. So all of a sudden, that $136,312 valuation, if we take off 7% Chrono 24 discount, it comes down to $126,770. So the scary thing is, I'm only $10,000 up on purchase price. And I got to be honest with you, when I bought these things, they were absolute bargains. Absolute bargains. I mean, the 5035, for example, that's the annual calendar. I bought it back for 20,000 Aussie. I serviced it. So I put it down at 22.5 Aussie. Nothing fudge there. Nothing fudge there. The world time, the 5110, I put that down at 28,000. Guess what? It cost me 25.5 plus service costs, 28,000. And I also I bought another box for it. I bought the correct period box, which was about $500. I ain't fudging that figure. That figure there has been pretty damn realistic. 5196. You know, that's the manual wine Calatrava. I bought that. The guy gave me finance. Arthur. I bought it from Arthur in New York. When I was making the payments, 1 Aussie dollar was 60 US cents. Guess what? 1 Aussie dollar now is 75 US cents. I've had a 23% currency change. 23%. The Aussie dollar's strengthened, the US dollar's weakened, and I'm 23% out. That's what's happened. The 5127, I paid 18,000 for it. I traded the Maserati Blue Dial Daytona and half a share in a Burgundy Black Bay. I didn't add nothing to that one, and I had to get the spring bars. I had to get the spring bar for the buckle. That was and the tongue was broken. I had to get that. That cost me $500 minimum. Man, I didn't really make any money on that piece. And then 6006. This just shows you how bad it is. The 6006, I bought that at a bargain price. It was, yes, less than a year old. And I paid 27.5 Aussie. Okay? Absolute bargain. The guy paid 44,000 Aussie. Absolute bargain. When I bought it, a dealer had bought a dealer I know, Vintage Watch Co. He'd bought a box 6006 for 30,000 and sold it, I think, for 33 or 34. Now, the thing is, David SW, he had a 6006. He was selling it for 22,750, I think. He'd give you a bit of a discount if you mentioned Archie. So all of a sudden, the one David SW was selling was basically 30,000 Aussie now, if you use that exchange rate. So what happened was, when the dealer bought it for 30,000 off the guy, that was pretty good buying for him. Now it ain't so good. You can buy it from David SW, same money. So this is what's happened. I've really lost. I got to be totally honest with you. I've really lost 20,000 in watches. 20,000 Aussie. I've lost 20,000 Aussie dollars. That's right. I lost it. I've absolutely lost it. And I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. It makes me numb. It makes me upset. Yeah, it's very disappointing. I got to be totally honest with you there. I want to be totally honest with you. I have lost on my Patek collection the last 2 months. I valued it mid-October 2020, compared the prices on Chrono 24 to now, and I'm not going for the midpoint. I'm just basically saying what's the cheapest on Chrono for comparable from non-Chinese, non-Russian sellers. What's the cheapest? I am down $20,000. $20,000 if I wanted to be realistic about what my collection's worth. The 5 Pateks, they cost me, the 5 Pateks that I'm keeping, they cost me $116,000 Aussie. That's what I paid. That's the purchase price, plus if I had to fix something up, if the spring bar was wrong, I got a correct Patek one, I got 2 of them serviced. They cost me $116,000. In October, on Chrono 24, that would have been worth 146,000 Aussie dollars. I did the sums yesterday. The collection is worth now on Chrono 24, 136. Take off 7% for Chrono 24 premium bullshit. You know, that he's always paying a bit of a premium on Chrono 24. Take off 7%. The actual collection itself, my 5 Pateks that are in the picture, in this vid here, you can see that I actually take off 7%. It cost me $126,770. I'm only up 10% from purchase price. What a lousy, stinking investment. What a lousy, stinking investment. I lost $20,000. And I got to be totally honest. It hurts. Of course it hurts. Of course it hurts. It's painful, man. It is very, very painful. And the interesting thing is, if I would have stayed with the Rolexes, because I traded out of a lot of Rolex to get this Patek, guess what? Guess what? Rolex has risen. Patek's been a sleeper. Rolex has risen, and I probably wouldn't feel the loss. You probably just, it would have just gone up. That would be just the Rolex increases. So I've got to tell you, I've lost $20,000 in the last 2 months. I'm down to cost price and thinking if I need to sell this stuff through a dealer, I might be lucky to get my money back. It's mean. It's very, very tough. Very tough. So guys, like, subscribe, tell your friends. This is the shocking truth. I've lost 20,000. Okay, I lost it, man. I have lost it. It's gone. It's not going to come back. I've lost it. It's gone. Zilch. Okay, guys, I will see you in the next one. I got a live show I'm about to cross over to. Live show. I'm ArchieLuxury. Tell me what you guys think of that. 20,000! Wowzers! Hi guys, ArchieLuxury. And who do I recommend in America? In America, who do I recommend for quality pre-owned wristwatches? David SW, David SW, David SW. Go to davidsw.com. He is the best, the greatest pre-owned dealer in all of the United States of America. David SW, David SW, David SW. Hey guys, ArchieLuxury. Who do I recommend for watches in Brisbane and Sydney? Vintage Watch Co. That's correct. Vintage Watch Co. in Brisbane Arcade in Brisbane and the Strand Arcade in Sydney. Vintage Watch Co. Brisbane and Sydney. Ronnie, I've known him since the late 90s. Ronnie is a top bloke. Luke is a great guy. Vintage Watch Co. That is who I recommend in Australia. Check out Vintage Watch Co. and the guys' amazing range of watches. They also do service and repairs. Vintage Watch Co. That is where the pontiff goes. You know, some of my Pateks came from Vintage Watch Co. That's right, guys. Vintage Watch Co.